Hardmoors Wainstones Marathon is so much more than just a race to me. It's why I started running in the first place, and it's where I first managed to compete at the longer distances. Prior to 2017, I was a 1 hour 10k road runner, very injury prone, but I also used to spend a lot of time walking up on the moors and on the Cleveland Way, which is very local to me. I loved it, the headspace was so good and it still is today, but I soon realised if I want to start running on this stuff and see more of it, I need to get a coach. So Jason Cavill came in. The remit was get me through the Wainstones Marathon in one piece so I can enjoy running on the other side. We did that in 2017. I then came back the following year after a lot of hard work and managed to knock more than 50 minutes off my time. I came in at under 4 hours and actually managed to win the race that year. That was a huge moment for me, especially for my self-confidence and my self-belief as a runner. And going forward, I always think back to that race when things get a little bit tough, and also as motivation to push me through the difficult times. Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. It's the day before race day, Saturday, and I've been getting my kit ready, so I thought what better time to go through the race plan, my nutrition, what I'm going to be doing on race day, and then we can fast forward to tomorrow and see how the event goes. So let's start with the course itself, the Hardmoors Wainstones Marathon. It's 28.5 miles, a couple of miles longer than in previous years. The elevation gain I believe is around 5,500 foot, and the course has changed slightly that we actually have the toughest section with all the three sisters towards the end of the race. As for the race plan, it is going to be to hold back until that mile 17 where we get to the road crossing before Lordstone's Cafe. There's a nice long, more than a mile stretch. I want to really hammer it up there and then just get cracking on all the descents and going over the three sisters. My favourite part of the course, really technical and really rocky. Of course, I'd like to compete, but I'm putting no grand expectations on winning the thing or doing a time. I just want to go and enjoy the race, and the most important thing for me is get to that second half of the race in good shape so I can enjoy my favourite part of the course. Let's move quickly on to kit while we're talking about scrambly bits and rocks. I'm going to be using the VJ Max. I reviewed it the other week. This is a cracking little shoe. It's got butyl rubber on the bottom, so the grip is really good and it'll be fantastic for wet rock. They're not the best in really muddy conditions, but they'll handle what we'll have tomorrow. Looking at the weather forecast, it doesn't look too bad at the moment, but we've had a lot of rain all week up here in North Yorkshire, so the course itself is most likely going to be slippy and muddy. As long as it's not deep mud, I should be fine. On the nutrition side of things, I'm going to be using Tailwind. However, it's the first time I've used this stuff. It's an all-in-one, so you get to your hydration from the water, you get your electrolytes from the mix, as well as your carbs. You get 50 grams of carbohydrates from 2 scoops. So that should work perfectly, but because I've never used it before, I need to have a backup plan. Therefore, I'm going to have a spare flask with me where I'm going to be putting water in, and we're going to have Veloforte bars as well as Veloforte chews. So I'm going to have 3 in total of these, as well as a Huma gel just as backup again. I always find it's best not to put all your eggs in one basket. I've learnt that the hard way. So I think everything's ready and prepared to go. I'm going to go away now, try and chill out for the rest of the day, not think too much about the race, and I'll see you all in the morning. Good morning guys, and welcome to Chop Yat, the start of the race, and it's slippy as hell underfoot. I saw some pictures last night on the Hardmoors Facebook group. Oramo, which is the last 4.5 miles of the race, looks like a complete state. It was boggy as it was. All those feet on it in the half marathon yesterday have made a right mess of it, unfortunately. Luckily, the rain isn't too bad. It's only raining very slightly, so the weather forecast wasn't far off. And looking at the updated forecast, it looks quite good for the day. So we've been really fortunate there, because it could have been a horror show. So yeah, feeling good, ready for it now, really excited. And
buoyed by the weather forecast, shall we say. Right, I'm going to get back to the car, go to the toilet, get warmed up, and I'll see you all at the start line. Wish me luck, guys. So we're 6.5 miles in, about 10k, a bit more, and got 2 runners ahead of me, 1 behind, and that'll probably be the race really. I've opted to walk this climb just to save my legs early in the race, and there's a lot more to be gained later on. So I just left checkpoint 2, 10.25 miles, a bit more of an 8-minute mile pace, and I've still got 2 in front of me and 1 behind. Not sure if these guys have gone out too fast, if I've maybe undercut the start, but either way, you can't argue with the views. So we're on mile 21, a bit more than that. Legs are shattered, not a lot left in them to be honest, especially the hamstrings. Not quite sure what's happened, but I'll keep slogging away. Still in 3rd place, but it's not looking great for catching people, to be honest. Let's just see how the end goes. Probably be putting the camera away now, because this is going to be a hard old push to the end. Well, my race is well and truly done. We're approaching 27.5 miles, another mile to go. This is the descent back into Choppy Arts, and my race was over from about mile 17 in fairness. There's no one behind me, but yeah, miles behind second and first. And nowhere near the sort of time I wanted to do, nowhere near. Completely bonked. I think the tailwind's done me in, to be honest. But we'll talk about that later. Time to get this race finished and get to the finish line.
There you go.
Thank you.
Well done.
Yeah,
Have some hand sanitizer.
Bagel with vegan cheese, spot on for refueling, which is what I am finally doing, because after the race it took me 4 hours before I could get any fuel in at all. Even on the drive home I spent a little bit of time in the bushes, so that about sums up how my race went really. Let me start by saying a big thank you to John and Shirley, and especially to all the marshals as well. Cracking race, really well put on, and everyone's always so supportive. It was lovely to see everyone behind at the end into the afternoon, having a good chat, catching up with friends. I wish I could have joined you all, but I was sick as a pig and I really need to get off and get myself sorted out. So the race itself, how did it go, what happened, and where did my stomach end up? Well, it was 28.5 miles, as you all know. I finished in 4 hours, 25 minutes and 30 seconds, I think. That was 3rd place. I think the top 4 were only ever in it, really. The rest were a little way behind. And my race pretty much came to an end around mile 14, I think. I just knew in my legs that they were flatter than they usually should have been. I was about to approach the really big climbs, the part that I'd said I was really looking forward to 3 miles on, and the legs just felt flat. I was having a real low point and I couldn't wrap my head around it. In hindsight, I think having the nutrition, water and hydration all within the same package of tailwind was probably to blame this time. I've had a lot of issues in the past with my stomach. It's something I've really got to get under control and address for the longer races, but I think the tailwind is probably to blame on this occasion. purely because I was coming into around mile 10 and on the tailwind I was feeling okay and I was feeling fine, but I knew that I was getting a bit thirsty. Now I thought maybe that was just normal with tailwind in race environments, so I carried on going. I had some water and I had one of the Veloforte chews that I said I was going to have. But then for some bizarre reason, even though I knew that I was sipping my water really fast when it was the plain water, I went back onto tailwind again at around mile 17 checkpoint, I think it was. And that was probably my undoing. I should have gone onto plain water and had something different. Whether my stomach was already on the way out, whether I'd gone out too fast at the start, we'll never know. This is the problem with marathon running. There's so many variables. But yeah, from mile 17 onwards was hard work. I reached the big climbs, the part I said I was really looking forward to and I really wanted to do well in, and it was just torture. I got to the last couple of climbs on the Three Sisters. Jason Cavill was there, but yeah, I was dead. Absolutely dead to the world. Going up those climbs, I should have been running most of them. I was walking them, and then getting onto Oramo, which was a bog fest. I was down to probably between 9 and 10 minute miles. I should have been caning that. I should have been going a hard effort, coming in below 8 minute miles and trying to catch the leaders. That was the race plan, and it just didn't come off, unfortunately. So yeah, lots to reflect on. Overall, lovely day. Really enjoyed the day out. Couple of really tough moments. Had to ask myself a lot of questions. But we'll be moving on to the next one, which is the Hardmoors 40. It's much longer, so going to do a lot of working out on this nutrition side and hopefully come back stronger, better, and actually enjoy the next race a little bit more. So thank you everyone for a great day out, and yeah, Hardmoors Wainstones Marathon, it's another one ticked off. I'll catch you all with the next one.